Hello and welcome to the Darlington College Learned It, Living It podcast. I'm delighted to be joined by some wonderful guests today from Elements Hair and Beauty Salon from Darlington College. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, I've had the pleasure of filming in the salon. There's not much you could have done with me, but luckily we had a student on hand and it was part of the TV advert and it was fantastic. So let's just go around the table. Could you all introduce? Could you start with yourself?
Hello, I'm Yasmin Greathead and I am one of the tutors at Darlington College.
Hello, I'm Anita Jinks and I'm one of the tutors at Darlington College. I also look after sort of barbering and hairdressing.
Okay.
My name's Sue and I'm one of the hairdressing tutors at Darlington College who looks after adult provision, so adult level 2 hairdressing and adult level 3 hairdressing.
Okay, so we've got a mix of students. We've got students straight out of school, adults.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, what age are the students coming straight out of school? Are you seeing a mix? Are you seeing people take gap years? What's sort of happening with the students?
So we normally have the 16 to 18 year olds, which I mainly teach level 2 and level 3 hairdressing. Like Sue said, we have the adults and we do also have a cohort of pre-16, which are your 14 to 16 year olds as well that we teach.
Ah, so you start even earlier.
Yeah.
We do.
Fantastic. I've got a note here about the Fellowship of British Hairdressing. Tell me what that is, please. What is that, and what does it mean to you professionally and as being part of the college as well?
So we were really fortunate. Last week, the Fellowship of Hairdressers came to Darlington College and we've become Centre of Excellence. We're the only ones in the region to actually have that award. Right. And we had lots of industry specialists that came last week and did demonstrations for our students. So it's quite inspiring. It's all really been based in London previously to this. So it's a really big award for us to receive.
Absolutely. I saw some of the social media footage. It looked brilliant. Who were the people that you had there at the event?
So we had Jason that came from Sassoons. We had
Ashley Hodges, who was the president of the fellowship, so she came and hosted the day, which was brilliant. And then we just had a mix of really kind of the best from around the country coming in to demo. We had 3 doing barbering, we had hair extension demos, styling. James from Sassoon did a really short style haircut, so a massive variety for the students to see.
Brilliant. And were all the students from all the courses adults as well, or what was the sort of...
It was mainly from the 16 to 19-year-olds that were there, just because of the space that we had. So we wanted everybody who was there to have an opportunity to really get involved with the people that, the stylists that were there who were doing the demonstrations. So because it was just for that age group, it allowed them to connect and ask lots of questions and get really, really involved. And that was the feedback that we got from the team that came along, that said how sort of enthusiastic our students are, how keen they are, and also they actually said how well they thought of us as tutors as well, which was really nice to hear, wasn't it? That was lovely feedback to hear. Yeah.
Obviously, that's such a highlight. What I want to do now is sort of wind the clock back a little bit. Okay, so if we could just go around the table, how did you get into this industry? What's your experience, and then what made you come and work at the college? John, would you like to start?
Yes, of course. So I was 14 when I worked in my first salon as a Saturday girl, and then actually came to Darlington College back in 2008, did my level 2, my level 3 hairdressing, went on to work on cruise ships, lived in Australia and managed salons there for a few years. Came back to the UK, have again managed salons, went self-employed, came back and did my teacher training, and then have worked alongside Darlington College for I think the past 7 or 8 years, and then just this year I've come into it full-time teaching. So,
brilliant.
Yeah.
What was the driver for you to get into teaching?
Just being able to kind of share my knowledge and my passion, and all the experiences that I've had within the industry, to be able to pass that on to the next generation. Yeah.
And was that partly inspired by sort of your experience in terms of coming through? Yeah,
definitely. And I think kind of the variety with me kind of working abroad, there's obviously a lot of young people who want to do that. So being able to help them and network and get to where they want to be within the industry, really.
Okay. Well, we could spend a whole episode in that space there, but obviously we've got 3 of you. How did you get into it?
So I was also college trained, and then I came up and I worked in hairdressers and barbering shops, and I eventually had my own business. I really enjoyed the training aspect of it. So we used to have like training evenings where we would like demonstrate and go through different styles and new looks and what was emerging and coming out that was like sort of current fashions that was sort of like all coming out and being like in the forefront of the fashion industry. And I came into teaching by sort of that love of like sharing my experience, sharing my knowledge, working with other professionals in the industry. And I came into teaching and started teaching mainly barbering when I first started, which was fantastic.
You could work with me on that one.
I could work with you on that one, yeah, definitely. So just coming in and being able to share and seeing like your students go from first picking up their pair of scissors to being able to do their first cuts is like that little light bulb moment is fantastic. And I think to see them like really engage when the fellowship came in was like wonderful. And you can see the aspiration already starting to build with them. They can see that they don't just need to work locally, but they can. And they can have that aspiration where they want to travel the world or they want to demonstrate as well. And there's already students thinking about that and thinking about competitions. So it's a really positive thing. And I love teaching really because it just gives us that sort of glimpse of like the youth that are coming up and that are going to be like taken out, you know, going into our footsteps and like carrying everything forward. And they're really enthusiastic, so it's great to see.
Yeah, I love that. It's really, it's so prominent, you know, in terms of obviously bringing your experience into the classroom. I think that's so important. And what about yourself?
Well, my aunt, she was a hairdresser in the 60s.
Right.
My sister, who's 10 years older than me, she was a hairdresser and she worked for Michael John down in London.
Okay.
So I'd never actually been in a hair salon before because I'd always had my hair cut at home. And I was 15 and I was up in Edinburgh with my sister. She had a hair appointment and I was sitting in reception. And I just loved the atmosphere, the vibe, everything about it. And I was sitting there and I was saying, oh, this is great. And she was saying, oh, yeah, it is a fantastic industry. And I said, but it's hard work. It's really, really hard work being a hairdresser. And I said, oh, no, I don't want to be as such. I want to teach them how to be a hairdresser. So just by watching and being in that salon environment and seeing everybody doing the job just wanted me to be part of that and be part of the teaching part. So really from that age of 15, then I left school at 16, was going to do a computer course because that was sort of something that I was sort of, that's the way to go. And then during the summer holidays, I rang and got a job in a fantastic hair salon in Durham, which was a hair salon, a beauty salon, and a boutique. So I started my apprenticeship there, left there, and then I went and worked at Wiles at Newcastle. That was a fantastic experience for training because they trained everybody at Vidal Sassoon standard.
Right.
And then I came back to Durham and worked for a company called John Gerard's, which are a massive hairdressing organisation in the Northeast, who actually started BL training in Newcastle. So my love of hairdressing and my love of wanting to go back, become a teacher, just was like there from the age of 15, just being inspired by watching others. So
the perfect fit. That
was the perfect fit for me, yes. And every year is a different year because you're dealing with, different people with different personalities, and it's just amazing that you can sort of give back something that that's really valuable to others.
I think teaching such an important job for obviously supporting young people at the college and less young people with the adult learning opportunities there, and it's helping them shape their careers and develop their careers, and it's really important to offer that really, really strong guidance. I think it's clear that obviously the students are benefiting from having such wealth of experience, in there doing it. So with that in mind, I come in and you offer haircuts, I believe. Tell me a bit about the experience that you get in the college, because there's a fully working salon in the college. I know we always talk about seeing the frontage of the college, but once you get through those front doors, tell me what's in there.
So we take appointments once our students have practiced and they've trained and they've maybe worked on models. Then we start opening up the doors for clients that can come in and have a vast variety of like hair services and beauty services as well in the beauty department. We try to make it so it's a realistic working environment. We want our students to go out feeling confident. So the more clients that we can get in, the more different types of hair they can work on, whether it's like curly or straight. So we try and make sure that what they are doing in college is going to be reflected when they actually go out and work in industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, could you just describe the salon rather than me describe it? Could you tell me a bit about the salon? What have you got in there?
So it is literally a real working salon for the students. So it's got all of the stations set up with the trolleys, the backwash area. We've got a reception area so that the students just feel like they're in industry, and we keep it as realistic as possible for them, so that they get the full experience when they're working on clients, which will then help the transition when they go and do the work placement and then go into industry, that they'll hopefully feel comfortable in that environment.
Yeah, and I saw it firsthand when I was with yourself. So it's really, I suppose everyone focuses on the cutting of the hair and working with people. However, when I came in, it was immaculate. And you were making sure that the standards were really high. So tell me a bit about driving that standard. You know, what does it mean to students? Why are you doing that? Obviously, you're in air quotes college. But why is it important to do that?
Obviously for the industry itself, because we're reflecting the industry, we're reflecting the high standards that is expected when you're working, you know, out in salons or any sort of aspect of your career. And really, it's just about making sure that the students are familiar and everything becomes a routine. And obviously, it's part of our qualification as well. It's part of the standards that Sitting Guilds expect, which, you know, is a fantastic qualification at the end.
They're ready to work, though, aren't they?
They are, definitely.
And it's not just the cutting of the hair, it's the whole process around it. And even, I'd imagine, talking to people as well. I bet that's a real challenge. So, obviously, coming back to the fellowship, it's a significant achievement. Could you just, for the people that don't know, why is it a significant achievement?
I think because we have strived and our students have worked so hard, we ended up being graded really well last year. And it's a reflection on our students' calibre, really. You know, we make sure that we do instill all the standards and make sure that they work really proficiently, and we think about timings for how long they should be taking so that they're ready for industry. And all of this was reflected with that. And then we were joined by the fellowship and seeing, you know, international sort of stylists. So it's not just all of the locals and not just us, because obviously we want our students to like have a really varied experience. So for them as well, it's really prestigious. They get to see what is happening in industry all over the country right now. And it gives them that aspiration to like strive to be the best. We want our students to be the best and to get out there and get jobs at the end of it. So that is really what we're working towards. You know, we want them to get their qualifications, yes, but we want them to get employment as well. So it's really important that we instill in them all of those things that are industry standard.
Absolutely, and I think it's interesting how you say the success of our students, which I think is fantastic. Obviously, you're celebrating the student support, and obviously that's equipped with the hard work that goes on behind the scenes to support them. So I think there's a bit of modesty there, but obviously you're doing some extremely hard work to support them in that success, and it's brilliant. And I think the other thing you mentioned is about not just us talking, because I appreciate students coming on to see their teachers, again air quotes, and they're doing it. This connects them nicely to seeing what's the bigger picture. You've been travelling, for example, with it. And this, you've been all of you have been all over with the industry. So it kind of opens that up to them. So you're working with brands like Sassoon, which is incredible. What does that mean for the students?
I think it's a great networking opportunity for the students as well. Working with brands like Sassoon, working with different individuals within the fellowship, gives them an insight into kind of fashion work, doing editorial work, doing competitions. So it kind of opens the doors a little bit more than just working, in a salon. It lets them see that they can, do really whatever they want to do within the industry, and we can help guide them and help them to network with the right people to help them get to where they want to be within their career.
Yeah. Okay. So with that there, you've just talked about a load of other things that is so much more than hairdressing and barbering. Okay. So obviously, with that in mind, what other things are you trying to work with the students? What are you supporting the students with other than just the physical technique of cutting someone's hair?
Yeah, what we try and do is try and develop their behaviours and their attitudes, making them rounded. So you can have fantastic skills, but if you haven't got the right attitude and behaviour, then you won't succeed within this industry. So we really strive at Darlington College to embed those sort of key skills right through our curriculum, don't we? It's not necessarily part of the curriculum, the Seeing Girls curriculum, but it sort of circles everything around that.
Making them a rounded,
Yes.
more rounded person to enter the world of work.
Yes,
I imagine.
definitely.
And I think it's great that you've got that at the centre of the student. The students are completely the centre of the focus. I think it's brilliant, but also making sure that the standards are right, and it really does prepare them for work. So, in terms of recognition for Darlington College and this, obviously, the fellowship, what does it mean that nationally? What you said about it being the only one outside of London, is that correct?
We're the only one in the northeast.
Northeast, is it?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
In Scotland as well, isn't it? So I think there's one other college which is down south that's like a member of it, but we are the only one in this part of the country.
Yeah.
And it's really important to sort of bridge that divide that happens within the country. We want our students to have the best experience that they can have, so that it's going to give them some aspirations, and then going to think a little bit more about what they want to achieve. Not just what is their achieving their qualification, but what their long-term plan is, where they want to go with their career. And by networking with industry professionals, it gives them the opportunity to do that.
So, what is the difference? Elephant in the room question. What's the difference between being part of the fellowship and not being part of the? What does it open? What now happens?
I think it definitely opens more doors. They do a lot of events with us, so they're coming back in November to do a big expo event. Then they're back in February doing a big employers event. We also have a lot of access to all the different educators that they have within the fellowship to come out and do masterclasses. They do a finishing school at the end of the academic year with the students as well. So just brilliant opportunities for the students. We're so big at Darlington College about the enrichment that we do with the students to take it further than just them getting the qualification. And obviously we're getting them ready for employment as well. So all of that, just with working with the fellowship, will give them so many more opportunities.
Finishing school. Tell me a bit more about that.
It's a week, isn't it? It's a week. It's in June.
Okay.
There's approximately 20 students selected, so those students that have worked extremely hard, demonstrated commitment to the course and to the studies. 20 students are with the team, aren't they, for those 5 days?
Right.
And during that time, they sort of hone their skills, but really looking at their work ethics and looking at their sort of their commitment to the role within the industry. And that's basically what it is. It's not necessarily, as they said, not necessarily retraining them, but it's giving them an opportunity to demonstrate their skills and for them to share their experiences more in depth with them.
Yeah, so sort of collaborative working,
Yes.
trying to push on you get to a point and, you'll probably say this because it's education, but you never finish learning, do you? There's always more you need to do.
Exactly.
So it's a great opportunity for them to collaborate.
Yeah.
Share ideas.
And then they're introduced to the FAME team as well.
Tell me more about this. There's just more and more things that are coming out. I love this.
This is the Fellowship Academy.
Okay.
It's like Fellowship Academy for Merit and Excellence.
Right.
So it's a team of people that are selected to showcase the hairdressing skills, showcase the artistry part of hair, and those group of people that are selected, they obviously represent the fellowship and go around and share the love of hairdressing and obviously share the fellowship, what it's all about.
Oh, brilliant. What fantastic opportunities from doing that. I'm going to jump back again here. So that's the end result, obviously. That's the end of the course. And what are the biggest challenges that you're seeing with the students day one. So day one of college, obviously, time of recording, we are 22nd of September, just to date it. Simon's rolling his eyes. But obviously, we've just had students come and arrive, being September. What is the challenges that you're seeing students face?
Setting the expectations for the students, so what we expect of them, making sure that they're punctual and prepared and that they've got everything that they need, they've filled in all of the paperwork so that we can teach them better, so we know them a little bit more. Making sure that they start to improve their communication skills, because that tends to be sort of like the weaker point, I think, as we like going forward. They're very enthusiastic about learning how to do the plaits and the twists and the hair up and the cutting, but when it comes to actually talking to people, sometimes they can find that quite challenging and it can make them quite nervous and anxious. So it's building up those skills with them as well, making sure that they are prepared so they don't just work on family and friends, they're going to be having clients coming in as well as we start developing that. And it's making sure that they end up being more rounded, but it's mainly sort of setting our sort of rules and targets and explain to them where we want them to go and how they're going to get there, giving them sort of small steps that they can achieve so that we can get them to the end result that we want them to be able to strive towards.
Yeah, almost the technical element is maybe a bit of this, because this is like, here's how you do it, learn this technique, obviously dealing with people and confidence. How have you supported the students with that? What sort of challenges are you seeing? What sort of strategies are you putting in place to help them?
I think a big one, like Anita said, is the confidence of talking to members of the public, when they come in as clients. It is a very nerve-wracking time, so just trying to kind of ease them into that, trying to help them with the skills of, getting out of your comfort zone a little bit, to learn and to be more confident. And I definitely think the difference that you see between them starting in September and finishing in June is massive. And it's so rewarding as a tutor, to think that you've helped that a little bit. But I think them doing members of the public and us being a real working salon definitely helps to bring their confidence up as their skills develop, really, which is lovely to see.
How are you supporting them when those members of the public are you nearby? Are you keeping an ear out?
Always.
What are you sort of doing to help them, and how do you manage that? Because obviously if they're working with a member of the public and you're seeing something, obviously you want to work in their best interests. How do you sort of manage that scenario?
Well, the students are aware of what we call workplace policies. So every student knows that during the consultation that they have to have a tutor that goes and checks the consultation before they actually start any service. So that's key. And then obviously we know our students, so we have like a RAG rate system. So we know those students that are ready for assessments, those students that need more training, and some students that need lots of training. So because we know our students so well, that also helps. Making sure that that we support every student at their level rather than sort of a communal level. And like I say, we're there, aren't we? We're checking to make sure that the services are carried out correctly, and obviously at the end of the service, we make sure that what they've done is accurate and professional and correct. And we always ask the clients to write a feedback on the students, so they've got something in writing so that they can look at that and develop from that feedback. And we always make sure that we check the client's hair before they leave and make sure that they're happy. That's really, really important. And making sure that the students are happy as well. As they work as stylists in the hair salon. So they all have the job roles, you see.
I've never really heard people whinge about having, like quite often people use the opportunity to get their hair done as an opportunity to go and have some you time, alone time, some relaxing time, or just talk, and quite often talking to people who are cutting their hair, so sometimes they can end up acting as a bit of a therapist for that individual, just when they're getting a moment where they can't do anything else and they're just getting their hair sorted. That's the one thing I miss about not having any hair anymore. It was always really relaxing when I used to go and get it. And it's a really important, side. Yes, you want a nice haircut at the end of the day, but actually looking after that individual is so important.
It's really important. We did a lot of pamper days last year, didn't we? And we had clients that were coming in and they went to our restaurants and they had a beauty treatment and then they came and had their hair done. And so they had like the full day in college, really. And having that experience with like different clients, people that they wouldn't normally meet, was really helpful for the students, but it was really pleasant for the clients as well. It was a really buzzy atmosphere, and everybody was in and everybody was smiling, and the students were learning how to deal with clients and how to sort of like promote really nice, valuable conversations that they could have with them and create connections, as well as doing the hair to a really high standard. So all of those things that we do are really important.
Yeah, and I think the reason why, obviously, the fellowship is absolutely brilliant, fantastic, but I think it's really important to understand where it all stemmed from, obviously, and that's setting the standards in the salon, embracing, you know, the challenge with the students in terms of working collaboratively as well. I think it sounds like when you're obviously doing your salon, yes, you're their tutors, but really you sound like colleagues in that sense, in terms of making that salon run, and it's such a professional job. Like when I've been in, it looks outstanding, and the work that the students are doing, I think, you know, people might think, oh, student haircut, I'm not sure, but it's not the case at all.
No.
I mean, what sort of things are people doing?
Well, we have what you call job roles within the salon. So you have, they go in as stylists, or they go in as salon manager, so they have responsibilities when they're in there. And we always say that the salon's like a stage, so they're putting on their role, so then they're no longer a student sitting sort of behind a desk. They're going into the salon as a hairstylist, so that's the role they're playing, and I think that takes a lot away any pressures, because they're leaving their own sort of problems behind. And like we always say, hairdressers are happy people, because you're working face to face, so you can't have a miserable day, you can't be sort of have an off day. So everything in that salon's very positive, because that's what it's all about, being positive all the time.
Absolutely, and I think it comes back to that relaxation element that I've talked about previously. So what's the long-term impact of the partnership, obviously, with the fellowship? Like what you know, how does it look going forward?
Oh, it's massive, isn't it? It's absolutely massive. It's massive for us as tutors, because we're gonna be up to date, obviously, and on trend with everything. So that's really sort of important. Meeting obviously fellow hairdressers that are passionate, like how we are passionate within our jobs, who are training, and it's just brilliant for our students to meet other professionals doing their job. It was like when they came in on last week, the students, when they were talking to them, and one of the session stylists was said, well, she works in a small salon. Another session stylist said that she started working with her mum in a salon. So it sort of gives them something to aspire to, and it's not just like, you know, you don't start big, you sort of gradually get there.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. It's very easy to see the end result of a collection of actions that someone has taken. And it's quite nice. It gives them an opportunity to sort of reverse engineer that and go, right, well, if I have my own salon, maybe I could do.
Exactly.
Do that. Get to those levels. What do you think about the future in terms of the partnership?
I think it's great experience. Like Sue said, for us as tutors, they've got lots of events that we can go to, because in hairdressing, I mean, you never stop learning. The industry's always changing, so it's really important that we keep up to date. And then in terms of the students, I just think, you know, brilliant experience, and, you know, to hopefully attract a lot more students to us to kind of have that opportunity as well within our hairdressing department. I think, it's massive. It's amazing that we have collaborated with the fellowship. So good.
It's quite inspirational, isn't it? Because even for us, seeing people that are sort of like working in Sassoon, working in different industries, working and doing demonstrations on stage. We went to HairCon in the summer, just before we finished, and the fellowship were there. They had students up on stage, celebrities up on stage, and it was quite inspirational to see that from being a student, you can like sort of go that little extra mile, joining competitions, joining sort of demonstrations, and start networking. It's a huge like inspiration for them, I think.
Yeah. So who to each one of you? I'll start with yourself. Who inspires yourself?
Sassoon. Well, you know, when you look at the wall team that are cutting and demonstrating as well, really inspirational. Seeing all of Beck, that I sort of follow him quite a bit, and he's like really inspirational, breaking down cutting, making it understandable. It's like really good to like observe people, study people, and see what the other like educators are doing as well. So it's really great.
And what about yourself?
I think, Sassoon obviously is a massive one. Going to HairCon, seeing Errol Douglas up on stage was amazing. He works with the fellowship as well. Sophia Hilton did an amazing show on the stage at HairCon, which was brilliant to watch. Very inspiring. And I think now, with social media, the beauty that you can just be scrolling and find so much inspiration because you can follow all your idols, and to see everything that they're posting is a great opportunity as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And finally, yourself.
Definitely Instagram, just recognising that, you don't have to be famous to be able to create some fantastic work and lots of creativity. So I like to sort of discover new things through other people that are just sharing. Yeah. But my main idol would be Trevor Sorby. Okay. He passed away quite recently. He was inspirational. He probably started the fellowship. And was one of probably the first people that started it. But his philosophy was all about behaviour. It was all about attitudes. It was all about moulding people so that they could become the hairdresser that a client would expect, and become that professional. Because we can give students the skills, but it's moulding and getting them ready.
Yeah, the wider piece.
The wider piece, and he was all for that wider piece, which was, inspirational for me.
Okay. So with that in mind, what's the best bit of career advice you've ever had?
Never stop learning. Just keep on learning. Learn from others. Everything, like you were saying about Instagram, you can look at a post on Instagram and you can pull something into your teaching. You can work with the students and you can pull something in from what they do. They might position a brush a certain way, or they might do something slightly different, and they've seen it on Instagram and they've brought it into the salon. So it's very much you share. Everybody's sharing all the knowledge and all the skills, and the students share them with us. So it's just fantastic.
Never stop learning.
Never stop learning.
What's your bit of career advice? That you
I think Sue's spot on. We're in a fashion industry. Things are changing all of the time.
At a very quick speed.
Very quick speed. And you need to be on top of what everybody is doing. You need to be looking at what's going on out in industry, and we need to be reflecting that and bringing it back into our classroom. And we're still learning. Everybody's still learning. There's always something that's new that is up and coming that we want to sort of factor into it as well. So being with the fellowship enables our training to progress and for us to be able to bring it all back to Darlington College. So it's really good.
Bring it all back to Darlington College.
Yeah.
Not scripted at all. And finally, yourself, best piece of advice you've received?
I think just to take every opportunity that's given to you, really. And the fellowship now has opened so many doors and given us as tutors and the students as well so many new opportunities. And I think just to take them all, go to all of the events, network and see what else there is out there. And definitely.
So much more than just cutting hair though, isn't it? It does sound like that,
definitely.
very much so, in terms of people, learning, and obviously opportunities.
Yeah.
Saying yes is a really important skill. Obviously you've got to weigh up what you're saying yes to, but saying yes is, sometimes it's very easy to say no, and it's really important to consider when you should be saying yes. Yeah. So I'm a student. I'm thinking about doing one of your courses. What are you saying to the students that are looking to come to the college?
We're telling them that it's a fantastic career to go into. We're telling them that they're going to have to work really hard, that they're going to be stood on their feet for a long time, so they need to make sure that they keep themselves really fit, that it's going to be a work in progress, so they're going to develop their skills over time, and it's going to keep changing and evolving. But it's a really exciting career to go into. That you never have the same day. You never have the same clients. You're never doing the same styles. Everybody's hair starts from a different place because they might have had different things done to their hair. So they're going to learn a little bit of science. They're going to learn some styling. They're going to be in a fashion industry, and they're going to be working one-to-one with people, which is fantastic.
Yeah. What do you say to them?
That they're going to have fun as well. I have so much fun teaching and getting to know all different personalities, and obviously it's so rewarding, but I would like to think that the students enjoy their time at college as well. with everything that we can help them develop and the opportunities that we can give them, you know, and working in the real working salon, it's a great opportunity. So yeah, I think they're going to have fun if they come and join us.
Yeah, absolutely. And finally, for yourself.
I just say you have to work hard.
Yep.
You have to be prepared for some knocks along
Yep.
the way sometimes. You've got to dig deep sometimes and show grit and determination, and just be yourself and work as hard as you can and just give the best,
Yep.
best that you can do every day. And when you walk through Darlington College doors, you've got to think to yourself, I'm a student here. This is a fantastic place. I'm here to learn and become a hairdresser.
Absolutely. It's a great building.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. And yes, I know you could say that we're biased, but it is fantastic and it's great. So you've got 3 words each left to say. 3 each though, not three between you, not 1 each. And this is about how would you sum the fellowship partnership in 3 words? Who wants to go first?
Me.
Go on.
You guys will say mine.
Right. So you've got 3 words. And what would you say?
Inspirational, motivational,
Yeah.
and fun.
Okay, we'll leave that there. Next one.
Creative. It is inspirational and pinching.
That's more than 3. It's creative. I'm going to hold you to it, I'm afraid.
Inspiring.
Okay.
Motivational.
Okay, brilliant. 3 from yourself.
It's prestigious.
Nice.
It's iconic.
Iconic, yeah.
And the fellowship are just like us. They're constantly wanting to make a difference to young people. So it's changing lives. That's more than one
We'll
word.
hyphenate changing lives. We'll slam it together.
Yeah.
English teachers will be going mad.
They will be.
So changing lives. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
definitely.
Yeah, we'll let that one slip through. I'll let you have that. But no, thank you so much for joining me today. I've really enjoyed it. I hope you have. And it's clear that obviously the passion that the 3 of you put into your work, and obviously the students you work with, are clearly fantastic to, have supported with the fellowship, getting the fellowship coming, and clearly they're doing a great job, because it's wonderful to hear about their successes through yourselves, and it's an absolute credit to the students and to yourselves, so thank you so much. If you have any questions regarding any of the courses at Darlington College, or you want to know a little bit more, go to the Darlington College website at darlington.ac.uk, and there's full course information on there. Otherwise, have a look on Google and you can find out lots of information on the college. And equally, if you want to see some of the social media from the visit, from the fellowship, there are some fantastic videos on all the major social media platforms. So please go and check out Darlington College. Other than that, I'll see you in the next episode.